For many years and decades, the political sibling rivalry, rather some call it, has been such a part of us ever since years back. And we see that due to the fights which have been going on and the misunderstanding between the politician, especially Uhuru Kenyatta, who is our president, and Raila Amolo Odinga, who is the former prime minister of Kenya, this kind of rivalry was existing quite a long time, and due to it, it had conceived something called the handshake, which was its main aim or its main purpose was to bring Kenyans together. But due to that, there's also part of it which is quite unidentified, really, because we see that through that handshake, Kenyans have now become divided again. And this gentleman over here will tell us why is that. We have this team of hustlers and we also have the handshake team. Why the divide, and while it was meant to actually strengthen the Kenyans together? Thank you for coming in the studio. I have Dan Alo, who is the Secretary General of NUT, and also on my left, John Mbadi, who's a political activist here in the Umbrella Show. I'm Dalila Hamzer, and you're just on time in the political switch, as we're going to discuss more on what the BBI has imposed in Kenyans, and also we'll be talking about how the education sector is up to right over here. Let me give you a chance to introduce yourself, Danilo, and how are you?
I'm fine, Dalila. My name is Danilo, the Branch Executive Secretary in NUT, County Mombasa, and also a member of the National Executive Council. I'm also an aspirant Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations for that.
Yeah.
We'll dive in much more. And on my left is John Mbadi, who's an activist, a political activist rather. Introduce yourself a little bit.
Fine. My name is John Badi. I'm a teacher by profession, but a political activist supporting Hustler Nation.
Indeed, it's going to get fiery here in the studio in the Umbrella Show today. You can send your comments in the section below and we'll be answering them as well. And as we move on, we have this called handshake. Yeah? It was conceived. It's just like a child. Just the other day. And through the handshake, we see that there's another child called the BBI, the Building Bridge Initiative document, which arrived from it. Now, as teachers, because we heard your leader as teachers, Wilson Sosion, say that as teachers, you are actually supporting the BBI. Is there any truth in the statement? Start with you, Dan.
Yes. Susion, as a Secretary General, he has the right to give his opinion and also talk on behalf of the teachers of this country. And he's also right because he's a beneficiary of Handshake, because remember he's representing teachers in Parliament and represent all workers in Parliament. And therefore, he is also right to say that teachers of this nation that he represents support the BBI and support the Handshake. And this is one, because teacher is a very important instrument in this country as a tool to bring peace and development in this country. And he realized that when Handshake is there, and then also the BBI, these are tools that are going to foster peace in this country. And when there's peace, then learning can take place. There's no country where learning can take place when people are fighting. When the country is at war.
So his statement was true?
The statement was correct.
Okay, let's hear from the other side.
Yeah.
John, what do you say as Wilson Sosion's statement?
I strongly disagree with Wilson Sosion, the Secretary General of NUT. Because when he was saying that the teachers of Kenya are supporting BBI and the handshake, and I think that was his personal opinion. It was becoming egocentric. I don't think that the teachers were consulted widely. I didn't hear of any conference or any gathering where people came up with proclamations that we as teachers, we are supporting Handshake. So as my colleague has said, because Sosion is a nominated member of Parliament under BBI and the ODM, he had the right to say that he's supporting. But I want to say categorically that he was very wrong. He could have consulted widely before declaring that the teachers of Kenya are supporting BBI. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at this handshake. Which kind of benefits has it brought to you, especially at this particular era? Mr. Dan?
Amsa, I want to tell you that when there's peace, there is prosperity and development. Since Handshake, you have read that a lot of fighting, a lot of hot politics has reduced. They have tamed the atmosphere. Even when we are here now, we came with my brother, we were walking freely and there's no worry. But there's a time when at that peak of the dispute, you realize the burning of tires around, people are running, the police were everywhere, in Majengo and everywhere. Even the estate, people seeing one another as an enemy. And even by that time, he was also in the ODM and he was the chairman of ODM Changamwe. He can testify that there was a lot of it. People suffered, people died. But immediately there was a hand, just two hands that people spy. We remember there are several handshakes that have taken place. There was a handshake between the president and Ruto. Remember, the president and Ruto, they were in different camps. They made a handshake and even their symbol took up a moja. Then also Raila and Uhuru also came up with another handshake that is down, that we are together for the prosperity of this nation. So these Kenyans, they managed to sacrifice, the two people managed to sacrifice their ego and their interest for the benefit of this society. Because we had reached a time when the donor fraternity and the private sectors who are investors were running away. And the moment they saw a signal that these two people had a shook hand and the street went empty and everybody was not talking as Kenyan, people now, then we say that Handshake is doing well. So that is there, the benchmark of everything. People, a farmer can go to farm, border can go to his work, a Manamba can go to his work, even Hamza Dalila will go to his place of work without worries. So it has reduced the pain from us, the agony, the psychosocial problem that we had, where people were dreaming blood and people were dying and everybody could not talk to one another. Today we are seeing that we can go to one market, we can go to one shop, we can go to one bar, we can go to one school, we can move from Coast region to Central region. Central can move to Nyanza and North. Now we are having Kenya. So this one has got what we call one Kenya, one nation, one Kenya, and one love. And that is what is very important, because the common denominator of anything in this world, Hamza, is peace. And peace has been brought by the handshake.
Okay.
Yes.
You're talking about it bringing peace to the country at
Yeah.
large, and when we take a look at the handshake, it was meant to bring peace itself. But on top of that, we have now the BBI.
Yeah.
Now, how is it that there is a division between now so-called the Hustlers team and the Handshakes team? Now, this is a division.
Really, you can see that even is a hustler nation here, and the handshake product. But you can see that the common denominator between all of us is that there is peace now. We are talking, even we are peaceful and when we are talking. And even if we are arguing among ourselves, that is a debate. The debate of hustler nation analogy and the handshake and the BBI analogy. These are Kenyans. They have not gone to the street to start fight. They are just talking among themselves. So that is a debate, and that is one of the, we can also say that is the cornerstone of handshake. Because all the two handshakes, the handshake of Ruto and Uhuru, and the handshake of Raila and Uhuru, now all of them are now handshake, and they are together. So they only differ in what we call the opinion. So we cannot say that we are at that 2017, and we are not at 2008. We are only arguing what do we do, what can we do, the left and right. So that's normal, even at the independent level. During colonial time when we were fighting for independence, there were people who were for the colonialists to remain. And there were people who say the Mzungu aende Ulaya Mwafrika apate uhuru. But at the end, immediately when they got independent, the two factions came together. Remember the Kadu and the Kanu. Even today you can see the two presidents was ODM and Jubilee. They have come together. The two leaders have brought them together. That's a fact. So the other things that are coming out, those are teething issues that can be addressed. And some of them will be addressed by election through the BBI and the rest. And at the same time, what we want to say that every Kenyan believes I am a Kenyan. We only differ in that space. So you can see it's on left and on right. It does not mean that's not Kenya. So that is what we need to do, and that's what we need to foster, and that is what we need to bring together.
Thank you, Dan. Let's rope in John Bbi to actually express his views concerning the benefits of the handshake. Tell us more. Are there benefits more in your part?
Well, Elila, I think initially, handshake was meant to bring Kenyans together. When the head of state, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga shook hands. We thought that that was the beginning of peace in this nation. But contrary to that, we are seeing that there's no peace at all.
Why is it that?
Because I was seeing the deputy president being left out of this handshake. My colleague is saying that there was a handshake between the deputy president and the former prime minister. If there was, that was cosmetic. To me, my understanding and my interpretation is that the head of state and the former prime minister had to bury their differences as individuals. And I think that was a good idea. However, the intention of the handshake did not trickle down to common mwananchi. Why? Because we thought that Ruto, who is the deputy president, was supposed to be brought on board. Brought on board in the sense that any decision or any step that was taken was supposed to be part and parcel of any conversation. Then the handshake team came in, and one of their agenda was to sideline the deputy president. And we saw some old or senior citizens like Brother Francis Atwoli, like Murathe, coming in now and saying that one of their agenda is to ensure that they elbow the deputy president from leadership. So to me, handshake, it could be having a good intention, but it has created or generated a lot of political temperature, and that one has brought in Kieleweke and Tanga Tanga.
Okay.
So you find that when the deputy president was visiting different parts of the country, trying to initiate some development projects, then they were referred to as people who are just Tanga Tanga, who are just moving around aimlessly. And some people are saying that now kitaeleweka. So we are seeing two different
divisions now coming
divisions. So handshake per se has not brought togetherness in Kenya. It has not brought unity in Kenya that it was intended to bring. But it has brought a lot of rift and differences among Kenyans. So we are approaching 2022 with two antagonists. We have got the North and the South Pole. You get me right? The Kieleweke and the Tanga Tanga. And these people, if it had got good intention, then the handshake between the president and the former president, immediately they did the handshake, they could have brought Ruto, also the handshake, and then ensure that they don't call Ruto names. You've seen through handshake, the deputy president has been called names, and that one, because he has got his supporters and people that believe in him, now our Kenya is more divided. It is more divided. The only thing that the handshake has done is that now the president and the former prime minister are now friends and referring to each other as brothers, which is okay. But common mwananchi does not understand all that shenanigan.
Okay. Before we go to Danilo, I see the temperatures are also rising inside here.
My is normal.
Okay.
Yeah,
you've talked about the handshake, the deputy president being not part of it, while Danilo here, sir, said that he had been part of it. You know, before that he had been part of it. They had formulated that. Now, how is that?
Yeah, if according to Danilo's understanding, then if the deputy president was part of it, then it was cosmetic, it was hypocritical, it was not a practical kind of handshake that could cool down the temperature. In my own opinion and understanding,
Sure.
because if it was a sincere kind of handshake, then he could not have been called names like Tanga Tanga. He could have been called a brother too. when we could see Ruto being called a brother,
Okay, John.
then we Kenyans, we normal Kenyans, would understand that indeed the political temperature is coming down.
Okay, let's rope in back to Donalo. What's your view on that?
I'm very much impressed with these people, and I'm shocked because they talk about bring someone on board. Ruto is in this country. It's Muguna we should bring back. He's in the state house. He's eating. The security he's taking is from the government. The money is earning from the same government he is. He sits in the National Intelligence
But they
Board.
say the relationship now hasn't been.
This leadership is not a personal relationship. When we talk about leadership in per se, it's not a person, not an initial, a family friend tie. It's a leader, and sometimes we must also sacrifice some and say, this country is ours. And you see, the one who is outside would be saying per se is Raila because he was in the opposition. He could say bringing back the government. But Ruto is not being brought by the government because he's in the government. This ideology of Tanga, they have just picked from air. Anything you say, they'll pick. You look at what we are talking about. He's saying that he should be brought, he's being called a name. And you have seen the other day, he's saying his brother, Raila Odinga, is a Muganga. So when you talk about, when you want to be a civilian person, civility comes from what you say, what comes from your mind, from your heart, and from your brain. And you cannot discover at this particular time you are very sharp and very intelligent. Because we can look at what we are doing. You see, when you are a leader and you are assisting somebody, you are a deputy, you are assisting somebody, you should not do what you call social projection. And because that he has a title of the doctor, then he feels he's more sharper, he's more brighter than Raila Odinga and than Ruto, than Uhuru Kenyatta. What we have seen here is a social projection. And we want to say that we are setting a precedent that if we cannot take, it will go like that. We want Kenya, in the future, in 2022, we want leaders who will work together. When you are coming as a leader, as a runmate, you must harmonize your thinking. You must be thinking, you tame what you are doing, and you tame the people who sit around you. Look at this gentleman of Hustler Nation. If he's talking and we are online, and thank God because we are not online, because these people would see us, America would be seeing us, Britain would be seeing us, and see how Kenyans are talking about. When you talk about division in terms of opinion of a person, it is different from the day-to-day running of a government. Is the government running? Yes. Are we in peace? Yes. Are we fighting? Yes. We are not fighting. Are we working together in the market? When you look at the impact evaluation of the outcome and the output of this handshake and see where we are today, Kenyans are going to market every day. Kenyans are going to hospital every day. So what we are saying between my friend John and me, is just a debate and our own feeling. Because we cannot say the Kenyans are not feeling in the ground, and Kenyans walk in the ground. Kenya going to the church in the ground. Kenya is going to move every time. So what we want to agree, that Raila Odinga is side of opposition plus the government is doing a good work. The government must organize itself. Because these are people, this issue that there is a dispute between Ruto and the president, we don't see it. Because the president is an institution of his own, and he has the authority. He could even record all or whatever and say, "But a deputy, we have called it our." But they have agreed that they're in a government. What Uhuru is now having a problem is that he's in the middle between the two people. The only issue that you are seeing here is simply because there will be 2022 election, and people are seeing 2022 election. So what feel that if I bring these people together, my people, there's a possibility these my people will be taken. So we are just refusing to accept that these are dynamics of politics towards 2022. But we are saying, look here, guys, 2022 will come, is a day. At the moment, let us work. Even me, I was a candidate in 2017 and I lost. I've never stopped the MP to work. I don't disturb him. What I do, in the space where it doesn't exist, I exist. Where I exist, so what we want to do, we want a model, a political model in this country, that when election is done and somebody has won and somebody has been defeated, let's see one another as brothers and sisters. Let it not be a personal, because that is the essence of democracy. And that's what we want to do, and that's what we must foster. I want my brother to tame his candidates and tell him, let's not abuse one another. I will also tell my candidate, in my smaller sphere when I get my candidate, I say, this issue, let us not see ourselves as enemies. And let's tell our competitors we are competing with so and so on a healthy ground. That's what we want, because Kenya for prosperity, what we call prosperity, because politics is the mother of everything. It's a mother of social development, it's a mother of economic development, and it's a mother of spiritual development. And when this politics disturbs, it disturbs everything, even religion. And per se, the scholars are saying it correctly, that we must have psychosocial nourishment. We must have a philosophy that is looking to the first, to the 22nd, 2022, whatever, and we have the vision 2030. So if we mobilize what social mobilization, and we put them together and we tell them lies every day. And then when a lie is repeated every day, it becomes a fact of truth.
Okay.
So when somebody is saying people are divided and people go to school, we're not like in Nigeria, we're not like in Somalia.
Before you intervene.
We are not in
Okay.
Somalia or Sudan. What we want, let people compete like in a debate. When you were in school and you were in school and you were debating, when we're doing critical thinking at the university,
Sure.
you do analogy, interpretation, and synthetic of facts. So let's not take facts to detriment of the society. The society is solid, and you are moving.
We'll get back to you
Yeah,
down a little.
yeah.
Before you answer, John Body, I would like to welcome you as the audience here in the Umbrella Show. And today's topic being the political switch, the views which are there. We're touching on matters of our country. What could be done in order to make the country much better? Before we move on to you answering back to Dan Alo on the same thing, I'd like to just remind you, some few days ago, if I'm not wrong, Sonko was removed out of the government position which he was in. He was impeached. And the Hustlers team and the Handshakes team, you guys actually voted to get him out of there, except Senator Ledama. Now, are you guys working together? Or what message is it sending to Kenyans? Starting with you, John.
Yeah, just before I get into that, I want to bring to your attention that I was in Msambweni when I saw the deep state when the OCPD was transferred a day to election. And I was actively there. I saw policemen running up and down trying to arrest the Tanga team. I was in the convoy and I got stuck.
Okay.
And we were told to get out of Msambweni. Then we were asking ourselves, are we in Kenya or in Uganda? Is it that we have our democratic right to associate with any political party or any whatever? So that is why I was saying that this animal called BBI and the handshake has brought a lot of division, because we were told that the other candidate was the BBI candidate, the handshake candidate, and the government wanted that, the system or the deep state, they were ordered to ensure that the handshake candidate carries the day.
Do you have evidence of that, John?
Yes, I have evidence. I was there, and they ended up arresting Johnson Mudama. They arrested him without any reason. They took him to Port Police, and they wanted to arrest Honorable Jichopevu Mohammed Ali. They wanted to arrest Issa Juma. They wanted to arrest people like Hassan Omar from Mombasa. So we were saying, and whereas the ODM team were free, boxing people, going to Kenyatta, doing all sort of thing under the watch of the police. That is why I'm saying, and I will repeat it even tomorrow, that BBI
How is it connected?
is not bringing peace in this nation. Let me go back to what happened to Sonko.
Okay.
My
question.
Your question. Yeah, what happened to Sonko is because of what has been happening since the handshake and the BPI team. We've noticed that it has brought a lot of rift, such that anybody, any leader associated with Hustler, that is deputy president, if you are a member of parliament, you are a senator, a women rep, and you are associated with deputy president, in case you have got anything in the court or anything to do with corruption, then you are pushed to the wall.
But you guys actually, you voted for his impeachment, both of you, the Handshake team and the Hustlers team.
Yeah, that was right. That was right, because every member of parliament, every senator, for instance.
So there's no division between you guys, huh?
When it comes to
interest, which is a division.
you can call that one interest, but
Vested interest.
Politics is all about interest. That is a fact. But then we are not supporting corruption per se. but we are saying that let the law take its course. We saw Anwar, the governor for Kirinyaga. She had a case. All the handshake team were saying that she's as clean and as white as snow. You get me right? So these are some of the things that are bringing rifts. We are not seeing political leaders behaving in the same direction. There's a lot of division amongst them, and it is about our person is being pushed to the wall. We want a situation where we look at every leader the way he or she is. If she is corrupt, whether Kieleweke or Tanga, we say this is corrupt and this one should go. But we should not cover up. We should not cover up or sugarcoat corruption. Madam Anne Waiguru is still working, and it is in the public domain that she mismanaged some funds, and because she was strongly supporting Handshake, she survived. And these are some of the things that are bringing a lot of division in this country. Let us be consistent in our actions, and that one will bring peace.
Okay.
Oh, yes. You say when you look at Msambweni Pasi, it was a very unique scenario where the two candidates, one decided to go independent and one became an audience. When the other went independent, the other gang came up and said, this is our person. And then they engage and say, we have won. Yet they know very well this is not their candidate. I wondered that if you are putting a candidate like in Nairobi, don't go and fix audio candidate and put there. Get your original candidate. Because that will not be an instrument to measure the popularity of a political party. We have seen in Msambweni's audience Pasi, even today, they were there, they have celebrated. But even the candidate who won, after being sworn in, went to see Mama Ida on behalf of Raila and saying, Mama, I was an audience and I'm still an audience candidate.
That is after the bruise of the political leaders.
And things have cooled down. You see, there were things people are divided. Immediately the electoral was the winner was declared. All of them went away. Even those who were saying that were being arrested. All people this imagination that there were 80 MPs, 80 Tamanini MPs, that were saying that we are here to support our country. And the country is not there. Then they were so disappointed. Then they say, this is our candidate. Then they went. The audience said, okay, we have lost. We have agreed, but they baby, these are my son. My son, like this son A and son B. They are playing in two different teams. One is playing in Gor Mahia and the other is playing in FC. When they are celebrating, they are bringing celebration home. So the young man has brought celebration home. So that's what we cannot say, that the person who were arrested, even those who were arrested, it was them. The rest were not arrested. The 81 were not arrested. And this issue, even this guy was there. He was the chairman of Godian Kangama. When I was being rigged out, he saw police beating people. Was that one deep state? How many of my supporters were arrested in Yom? They were arrested. That is not a deep state. There's an imagination, anything is a deep state. We are all deep state. We are in the state. Nobody is outside. And these are lies. Nobody lies. These are panolias. When people imagine and bring other issues. We are going to Nairobi. Sonko issue cannot be comparatively compared with Anna Waiguru. Because we say proof of evidence, isn't it? And the shift of burden. When we look at what happened, because Sonko is a friend of mine, admire him, I campaign like Sonko, I walk in the street like Sonko. Walk in the community and help the community, he knows very well. But that does not mean that if somebody has told you, you have stolen my chicken, prove that you have not stolen. Like what we were saying, 297 million. They were saying evidence, 297 million transferred from the central government, treasury, and brought to the county. Then they were now paying what? They were paying lawyers instead of that. Then they went there and somebody whistled the blow and then it stopped. That would be if you are stealing from me.
But according to the whistleblowers,
yes,
yes, you continue with your as you talk.
Yeah.
According to one of the whistleblowers, they were saying that also some footages which have been seen quite in the social media, the beating and the brushing of shoulders with the politicians. It was quite evident, it will seem.
Yeah, so that we are saying proof of evidence. When I'm saying, I know you are a thief, you are showing me I was here, I stole your money. Evidence. Look, we are talking about your proof evidence. That is in court. In fact, Senate did not impeach Sonko. Sonko was impeached by the county government. So that court was just to prove how was it done. So what was Hustler Nation? When your brother is in shit, get evidence documentation. If you ask, did you beat Dalila? Say no.
You have the evidence.
Then if they're showing that this is me, I'm like, no, that hand is fake. It is for John Badi, which is the Hustler Nation. When you are saying your daughter went for 2.4 million in America, first lady factory. That was a first lady. Your daughter as well is not a first lady by person. You should say, yes, it is not my daughter, it is my wife who went. You are putting a budget of a flight of 300,000, my brother. And these are donor money. When you go to America, you beg. Then you send. You know, when I'm going to see that one, they say you are a fool. You are begging money. Kenyans beg very little money in those countries. And one person can spend 200 to 300 million, which you are begging from other countries. We are selling bonds in the street of London to build this country. Then somebody comes and takes that money. You are building a stadium of 600 million. You are building a structure, my brother. You are bringing a structure with metal. Instead, you are using papyrus. The new papyrus. Then you are telling that that's so there's what we call proof of burden. You are saying you are acting as a president. Say that is not me. That photo you are showing it is for John Badi. So we were waiting when our ODM or our handshake person will be taken there and this proof nobody will be talking about. We cannot steal from our country. Where's our moral? What is the value, my brother? What are we showing in this country? Is it that Kenya is a man eat society or what? And we are a poor country. We are begging money from the streets of London in America, and then you steal from that one family stealing.
So
what we are saying today, let us have humility, let us have compassion of this country, let us have this country. If a thief is a thief, whether it's your brother accepts a thief. I am happy with another woman who said, my son has been notorious. He's a Kenyan. He's been stealing from people, a mother in Kibera. The time when we defend our people, whatever is wrong, it will seem. In fact, I have friends. My friend, some of my teachers are working in Sonko in the government, and they were saying the defense they put will really solve them because they were busy defending and they're not bringing factual of evidence. So that we must be moral in the society.
To actually add on that, we've seen that the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga said he's not going to give up without a fight after the defeat in the by-elections of Msambweni. And he says that there is a necessity of the BBI to be put essential in 2021. And we take a look at the recent strike of the doctors who went and who are seeking for PPEs and also are seeking for their salaries, actually are being vocal on the matter, while we see that the government has will assign 14 billion to actually assign the verification of the BBI signatures. What is your take, John?
Well, I would say that the 14 billion meant for BBI should have been used elsewhere. We have had the doctors strike, the nurses have gone on strike, and now even the clinical officers are carrying on strike. So health sector is affected. But then now we are asking ourselves, what went wrong when the coronavirus pandemic came in? We had international donors coming in, bringing a lot of money, a lot of resources. We were told, yes, we were told that they are bringing PPEs, they are bringing medicine, they are ensuring that they protect the frontline workers, and also increasing their salaries and allowances, the risk allowances. Little did we know that there would come a time when the doctors will go on strike, the nurses will go on strike. When we try to ask about the money, the whereabouts of money, we were told that they shall account for the money after the coronavirus or whatever. So the problem here in Kenya is corruption. It's all about corruption. We've had a lot of donor funds coming in, not accounted for. That is why I want to support their strike. They strike for nurses and clinical officers. Let them be given money. And before they are been given money, let them tell us where the monies that came from international community, they don't have funds, where they took that money. And that is why we are mad. Listen. The former president has been the voice of the nation for so many years. He's now quiet because he's within the system. He's not questioning where the money went to. The other day he was saying that the doctors should not go to strike, there's no money. And the same guy is saying that BBI ni sasa kama si sasa ni sasa hivi, meaning it is time for BBI, meaning that money, that 14 billion Kenya shillings that has been allocated must be used for BBI. In other words, he's telling us that BBI is a priority, not the health workers, not the education system. Let us say, for instance, we want to open the schools. We don't have masks. We don't have sanitizers. We don't have the infrastructure. We have not even constructed more classrooms. But in around April, May, we were being told that there's a lot of monies have been pumped in to address the infrastructure development in learning institutions. I can just remember what the CS for Education Magoa was saying, that they have got an elaborate plan to ensure that when schools are reopened, there will be enough classrooms, there will be masks for every child, there will be sanitizers, there will be running water. Today, those are stories. That is why we, the Aslanists, we are saying we should not be taken for granted. We need to be told where the money went to. Where is this money? And that is why we are mad also with the former president, with the former prime minister and his team. All the handshake team are now dancing to the team that everything is okay. There is peace, and our monies are being embezzled and nobody is asking.
Let's swipe in. Donolo, what's your take concerning that?
You see, some Kenyans are living in an illusion and denial. When we are talking about the doctors are not being paid, the doctor already have gone back. But we want to see where you are joining the nurses and the clinical officers. You, as a Hustler Nation, who are saying that their rights are tempered from. We want you to walk out and talk Kenyans, address that issue as a particular issue. Because when you are the deputy which is heading the Hustler Nation, is in government, and he knows there's a budget, and he should say that vote head is there, pay these people. He's quiet. And
So
you're blaming somebody who is just having an handshake.
You're
Blaming somebody. I'm just giving you, I'm not blaming. I'm just telling you. You're blaming somebody who is outside who have said, I'm a friend of so and so. You are in a government. So you want somebody to criticize for your government. You should lead people in that government. You should either walk out and tell people, pay them. You as a Hustler Nation, I want to see you joining those people. Remember, when the doctors had a problem, as a union KDT, we went there to join them. This is my brother. When the workers of county government were approved, we joined them. But you people, you're only having an illusion of talk. You just talk hot air talk. You must take action. When I say money is being stolen, you are the same people who stole the money. Your company is known for. It's man hits man society. You are a gang of people. You are chasing a thief like in Mabatari. Then you follow them. You are also a thief. The issue of problem of workers in this nation per se, and that's why I said when I become an MP, I will be the minister. I want to be a minister for labor because there are some reform must be done. How should people strike when people are giving a notice of 28 days and you are sitting there and you wait? We cannot do what we call fire beating. Stop fire before it burns. So my brother, the doctors, the nurses, and the clinical officers, and the teachers of this nation, and any worker in this nation have a right to be given a right. When budget is being made, they must be factored. We don't want a blame game to mobilize the psychological mobilization to say that the government is wrong and you are inside.
How can somebody's wife blame you? If your wife is blaming you and you are inside the house. So what do you want to do?
Now,
No.
let's talk about...
No, I was talking because this
yeah.
my brother, when he was talking, I was quiet. And
yes.
I've never interjected. You can see I'm
Sure.
very civilized.
Yes, very
and
civilized
these
indeed.
other nations, they are not civilized because I think they are being misled and being
Mr.
misguided
Dan.
and being given for feed
Mr.
with
Dan.
lies and they repeat this nation. They are in a government. We don't want to hear, if you are not in government, walk out of the government. You cannot be in a government and you claim and you cheat people behind. You meet with the court and say, I have done this, do it now. How can we have a government which is two in the government? Another one is telling peace and another one is bringing people to fight. This is why these are what the mistrust we have in this society, where leaders sit together. When we wake out and say, that is so and so's problem.
Okay.
We must have a
Thank you.
collective, again,
Sure.
we must collective responsibility.
Mr. Dan,
Yes.
I wanted you to elaborate more concerning the 14 billion which will be assigned to the BBI.
That's a mirage.
And that, what about what's going to happen to these medics, to these doctors who are
Talita,
there?
you are a very sharp lady and a very intelligent. You must accept this is an illusion because the BBI is going to be in June and we are in December. The money that we started talking, even the BBI money was not even in the budget.
Yeah.
We are talking about the budget, the 2020-2021 budget that we made. There was every ministry had this as its own budget. So that money is what we are now talking about. The estimate of 14 billion, in fact, the Prime Minister has even denied it, said it's only 2 billion. Because we're only doing for people getting to one station with only one item. So it cannot be compared to the other one, where massively. If you are talking about there's no money, why do you have by-election? If you are civil and you say we don't have money, all by-elections stop. We just appoint somebody to run away. Why did we do election in Msambweni? If we are not wasting money, we'd say, okay, we have only 1 year, that person has died, we'll send the money to the manager, CDF, the MP is not there. We come to Nairobi, let's not do election in Nairobi. We have to save money. But we are doing all election, we complain. When the election comes, we bring our candidate, we compete, we fight. We are foolishly talking. We must be civilized nation. I would look at a time when we say, let's not waste metage or a lot of resources in fighting. When we elect somebody for 5 years, if he dies, let his wife take responsibility. And let that seat be vacant. Why we waste money? You cry here, one left, the other right. Foolish Africa. We must fix the problem in this country. We must be honest guys. The issue of money and whatever, those are imagination. What we are saying, BBI is going to be there, it's an agenda, it's no longer in the pipe. They have not started talking about all the stuff. When you look at the schedule of this constitution, we are still at the schedule at procedural stage. Transitional clause, where the IBC will vet. They are today vetting those figures. They have their budget, which was there in the IBC. The parliament clause will make amendment. From now, parliament, we don't pay them because that is their duty. They're still making amendment. They're still putting all these things together. The bill, gazette notice, it not cost the government money. The real one will come in June if Kenyans accept. So this issue of imagination and bringing cook figures and thinking to bring disunity to this country, these are amorphous. And we want my brother, you must, at the moment, tell us the 14 billion has not been spent. It's just a talk. And it's not in budget. Tell us that the money that was given to the Minister of Health, the money has been taken to account. That is what you should say. They should use to pay. That is the issue. We cannot talk about Kenyan and we are in a government and we have our government. Let the government today, tomorrow tell your person, let it join the doctors, the nurses, the strike. Let's go and meet the president. It's not fair because there are two presidents, the deputy president. I'm coming to you, tell me why we cannot pay the nurses. And the nurses issue is in the county. So we should not run away and bring this issue, Uhuru, Raila, all the time.
But the figure,
No.
But the figure was
the 14
actually
billion was just said. They also said, and Raila said it is 2 billion. And they are insisting 14 billion is their own money and their own million. What we want them, let them wait out to 2021 when the budget will start working. When this will demand that we want this money. See, using Kibasati said he wanted 243 million. He was told why. You still have money. There are commissioners, we are not being paid. You have the money there. And the treasury could tell them, you have that money to do that. They are doing vetting. Have they been given money? So what we don't want, let's not peddleize every day, bring imagination all the day, and we talk as if we are not in a camp.
Before we swipe into you, John, if you're tuned in, this is the Umbrella Show with me, Dalila Hamza. The topic is the political switch. The political switch. Let's swipe to you as you answer back to Dan. Hello.
Yes, he's talking about the 2 billion that referendum can only cost 2 billion. That is an hallucination. The 2005 referendum at a cost of 10 billion. Those years, how many years down the line we are talking about 2 billion? So when Kibukati team said it is 14 billion, they were right. That's one. Two, by-elections must be undertaken everywhere because IEBC has got a budget for that. What I wanted us to discuss is that there were a lot of money that came in Kenya during Corona, COVID-19 pandemic. The monies that were taken to capture and whatever. We didn't want to hear of a situation where doctors and front health workers are still talking about lack of PPIs, lack of necessary equipment and facilities within the health sector. That is why we are saying that there is a problem. And these problems are not being addressed. The common Mwananchi is listening to radios and other media houses just to be told where the money went to. We are not being told. Instead, we are being told that now, as Kenyans, what we should wait for, which is very important, is BBI. I want to say that my brother maybe is behind the news. Yesterday, the former Prime Minister was in Sambweni when they were trying to do some review and post-mortem on reasons why they lost in Sambweni. And one of the things that he said there is that BBI is now a priority, and if it is not now, it is, if it is done in Kiswahili, they are saying, ni sasa kama ni sasa hivi, kama si sasa ni sasa hivi. So he's telling us that BBI will take place in 2021 June. Well, they are pushing for that. He could have said that now, as Kenyans, we are going to open the schools next week, 4th January. Where are the sanitizers? Where are the masks for the Kenyan child? That is what they could have said now. Just excuse me, just listen. Where are the masks? Where are the sanitizers? Are classrooms adequate and enough? The learning institutions have not been expanded.
You're asking Raila.
You see? I'm asking on behalf of Kenya.
You're asking on behalf of Kenya to Raila.
So, let him answer first and then you respond later.
So these are the important things that common Mwananchi would like to know. Okay? Are there more teachers that have been employed? Because some principals have proposed what is called shift system, where some people come in the morning, some in the afternoon, or whatever. It means that there is inadequate infrastructure in learning institutions. Okay. To me, just listen. To me, as
are you asking? Are you answering?
What we are saying, we are talking about how what should affect the common Mwananchi. To me, those are the things that are touching on common Mwananchi as at now, not matters BBI, that we are being told that is a priority. And they said yesterday that the team, the BBI, the Handshake.
So that was the president of this country.
So that is why we in Tanga, we are very, very, very keen. We are saying let us address economic restructuring, whereby the common man can put food on the table. People have lost businesses, people have lost jobs. Okay? They are not addressing how those ones are going to take place, how they are going to be mitigated. Instead, we are being told it is BBI. It is BBI's time. That is why we in Tanga, unless you convince us, unless you convince us, Brother Dan, unless you convince us.
You cannot be convinced because you are fixed.
Unless you convince us that Kenyans need to put food on the table. People have lost.
Kenya going hungry.
Okay. On top of that, to adding, let's divert a little bit in the education part, whereby the schools will be open in January, on 4th, actually, next year. And the President Uhuru Kenyatta actually mentioned that the infrastructures and the dormitories are supposed to be finished by this December, which is in the month that we're in at the moment. My question is, there is a strike which will be there as teachers. What is triggering this strike, considering that a whole calendar of education has been lost? What are some of the reasons, Dan?
Thank you, Dalila. But before I move to that point, I also want to make my reservation. Number one, we must agree that this government is for Jubilee, and the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, and the Deputy is William Ruto. We cannot be shortchanged and be given meandering that when the problem is in the government, they want to transfer that problem to Raila Odinga. Raila has only given this piece of peace to run their government. He's not in the government. And when he's not in the government, what he's doing is to bring peace, because he has realized this government was almost going down. And when you put a lot of opposition like what we are using, resist, we are not going to move. And therefore he was called and be coerced and be told, please can we work together for prosperity of this country up to 2022. And that fact is the fact that Raila, Uhuru Kenyatta president, William Ruto, deputy president. When teachers have problem, that is Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto's problem. When doctors and nurses are having problem, Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto's problem. When people are not eating in the village, this guy is talking, it's Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto's problem. When there's no water in Jombo place, Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto's problem. When there are no barabara in that place in Jombo, Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto's problem. When children are not going to school, Uhuru Kenyatta and their problem. If I'm your neighbor or I'm your cousin and you are sleeping without eating, it is you as a father. So there's no way, this is the tail and the head. You can only cheat fools in this country. And we must agree. When doctors and nurses are not there, are not in the hospital, people are dying. I feel so bad. Only that I'm a small person. I would have joined those people. People are dying in hospital like that in pain, madam. And people, there's a government. And two people are just bring an agenda that BBI is now what they're talking about. BBI is nothing, it's still an illusion. He has not even reached that level. Can you work from today, when you leave here, advise your president and you are a deputy to those doctors, that nurses that are not on strike? That is Ruto and Uhuru's problem. People are dying there at this time when they're dying, people are not getting medical. That is Ruto and Uhuru's problem. It's no longer
To my question.
When it comes to the teachers' issue, we gave a notice. But we are also very sharp because we listen to the people we are leading. The teachers we are leading, the parents we are leading. It's only a fool who does not know that Kenya is now in a problem. So we have decided some of these problems. That's why we hear we are in court. Because if you're a civilized person, when you find your problem cannot be sorted out, you go to court. Like number one, there are teachers today in staff room, the public schools, where their teachers are being put and marginalized on ground that they are members of the union. They are in the school. We have now intern teachers. We have the board teachers. We have the permanent teachers. So a lot of fragmentation is being brought by the system. And the system has refused to listen to us. Now what do we do? So we cannot kill the children because we know even that. So that's why we have said there's still no strike, because there's what you call, when you give an industrial dispute, you tell them we are intending to go on strike if you don't address the following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number one, infrastructure. You must expand this because you brought free education. You brought free and compulsory education. We brought education for all. We bring 100% transition. 4 agenda in the education system.
And
you must bring, when I was quantifying that, I said it would cost Kenya government about 3.7 trillion. There's competence-based curriculum. And I told the then minister, give us a model of education you want. And when you bring the model, who is going to sponsor this? Because the 844 was sponsored by the Canadian government during the Moi time. This one you are bringing, which model are you bringing? Is it a British model? Is it a Turkish model? Is it a German model? Is it a Tanzania model? How much is this costing on this? But you see, when people are coming with the system, and this system, when you tell them, nobody will listen. Both the president and deputy president, they're not listening. All these problems, they are brought together. But out to the side, when they're in the street, they tell me that is a woman's problem. They are all problems. By now, when you are bringing 100% transition, we are bringing this transition, you are supposed to have infrastructure reform. Kenya cannot bond this. We have UNESCO, we have USAID, we have very many world multi-borders bodies. We'll bring that money, trillion of that. I wanted the minister to say, we want this money to come from Europe.
Because the British was our colonizers. Tell them, we are accepting our funding, but we have a problem. Can you give us this money as grant? But you hear people begging grant on construction. Most of you people, you are only constructors. You are only interested in constructing a railway train where there is a catch out. We wanted you to say, we want to build how many classes in this country? How many dormitories do you have? They came up with what we call desk project. What we made noise? 1.9 billion. Up to date, they have only brought 500,000. That's our problem. But what do we say? We are telling them, but we cannot kill them. We cannot beat them. We've told them there are no infrastructure. Go to Tana River, my brother. Go to Mguachapa Hapa. They have every class. Go to Mureroni.
To add on that,
so these are issues we are talking about. Employ teachers. That's how we are talking about. Bring all these things we are talking about. The sanitizer and mask. You heard the minister was saying, and I laughed. I wrote in the comment. Minister saying we have only 3 million for the poor. How will you know that these children are poor? Children under the Children Act. When you look at Article 53 of the Constitution of Kenya, it states very clearly the children have a right to go to education, to go to school. If you are telling them that you will only give the poor, how about if the children say, I'm not going to school because I don't have mask? What will you do? And the child you cannot take him to court because he has the child right, because the Children Act 2003 is still very, very explicit on how defense of the children. So you cannot go to a school where you say, these are children of the poor. You are seeing visibly by seeing them visibly. You are supposed to bring the uniform. That's why we say every child must have a school uniform. For us not to divide them. But if you're not bringing this government mask for the children who are poor, and then there are people here, and with the COVID-19, my brother, you have to agree. We must agree all of us. Everybody is poor.
To actually add on that, I want you to is the country ready to reopen the school, given that we are in the midst of COVID-19?
My sister, you are coming from a pwani slogan. Na Waswahili wasema ngoma kisenzi chezo kisenzi. Unasikia dadangu? Mahali imefika sasa, hii COVID-19 si ya serikali. Hii ni ya ulimwengu mzima. In fact, we are supposed to charge France, China. We are supposed to take them to court to compensate us. The whole world, through the World Health Organization, has advised all the countries of the whole world, not Kenya again. So Kenya cannot be an island. If Tanzania is going to school, Uganda is going to school, and we are in East Africa, and we are sending East Africa protocol. Are we an island ourselves? Everybody must go to school. The World Health have said go to school. So what are the whole world? The G20 have said go to school. We are bringing COVID-19 vaccine. We are bringing. So at this moment, people must go to school. Just like people go to the church, people go to market. Where do people not go? Today, myself, we come to the studio. We go to ferry. We go everywhere, market. We go to beaches, even. So we cannot stop, because that is the core, the cornerstone of everything in this country. And if you don't, the whole world, if we can conspire and do people not go to school, in 10 years' time, we shall not control these people. And some of them, we heard them saying, Mimi nilimaliza kusoma. In fact, we are opening school on 4th, we shall still have problems with those people who have not gone to school. Because people will defy. Some people have become wild. Some of the boys have grown. Say me, I'm now 18 years old. I don't go to school. I have my right. What do you tell them? So we must tell people, go to school. Let's go to school. We fight the virus when we're in school. But everybody who is concerned in this country, the president of this country, the deputy president, he must listen to the teachers of this nation. Because the teachers want a complete uniform payment. The Teacher Service Commission has become colonial. And the lady is very happy, saying, I go to the State House to take wine. Those are the districts he's talking about. Even the district you are crying about, we are also crying in the district in the union and in the teachers. Teachers are not eating, my brother. People are not being paid. Some people are being paid. They are being employed aerially. There are teachers who are employed in February. They have not been in the payroll. They have not got letters. The teachers who are employed in Aga, they have not been posted. And they have not been paid. Their right is being denied. And we cannot talk. Yes, right now, they are now deducting 2% of teachers. 2% of teachers below 18 up to 45. And yet they were employed on permanent and pensionable. Now you are reducing to superannuation. Because now it's colonial mentality, where we have not discussed, because the union is receiving a beating because we refuse. But before we start superannuation, employ the new teacher, put in a new person. But a teacher who is in the payroll, leave that person to enjoy pension. Are we wrong?
Let's swipe in. Let's swipe in. Thank you, Dan. Let's swipe in, John. Is the country ready to reopen schools on 4th, considering that we are in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, the country is ready to open the school, because we cannot wait any longer. We wasted a whole year, all academic calendar. So we need to have the schools open. And though there are a lot of challenges, we are saying that let us face those challenges as we move on. We have to open the school, and that is why I'm saying that even the teachers' strike scheduled for 4th of January is uncalled for.
It is not there, I've seen.
Yeah, it is uncalled for. In case of anything, let them now go and serve the Kenyan child. These people have been at home from March. Most of the teachers were just doing their own businesses, some doing border.
You have a fact.
Don't
lie, you know you must respect your teacher.
Have a fact.
Don't come and tell lies
And
here.
they are earning salaries, allowances, like that. Now it is time to go back to work. Let us not hear of any teacher that wants to go on strike. That's one. Two, matters to do with the confusion in the education sector should be addressed by the Minister of Education and the appointing authority. I don't see where the Deputy President is coming in. The appointing authority is the head of state. And there, the minister who is given the responsibility to ensure that everything that is needed in the education system goes as planned.
It sits in the cabinet.
Also sits in the cabinet. And again, matters to do with how they are being handled. They have got the NAT secretary, executive secretary, general, Brother Wilson Sosio, who is a member of parliament. And it is in parliament where the laws of this country are being made. Most of the laws are made in parliament. So it's part and parcel of that team. And therefore, I just want my brother to know that the deputy president, since the handshake, has been given a cold shoulder.
Where
Things, just listen. Things are taking place in this nation. Decisions are being made in this nation. We have seen the Minister for Education, the Cabinet Secretary, moving from one school to another, issuing directives in the name of trying to assess the preparedness of learning institutions.
On top of that, adding to that, we've seen so many students actually, so many schools actually, on the level of, especially the public schools.
Yeah.
They're really struggling at the moment
Yeah.
with the infrastructure, with the desk, because a lot of students and a lot of people are actually, how will they be able to actually allocate them classes for them to study? That's a big challenge there. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, they are struggling because there is some kind of poor leadership.
But you are there.
Poor leadership in the sense that the cabinet secretary that is given that mandate
The deputy
and
president.
the team, they have not advised the president accordingly. Here we don't even blame the president. There are people that have been appointed to carry out those duties. They move from one learning institution to another, telling us that they are prepared. They told that they are going to build more classrooms, that money has been allocated. We are given just figures. But today, believe me, you visit any of the learning institutions, even here in Mombasa, you don't even see a new classroom. If you see, it has been constructed by CDF funds, okay? But from March going onwards, we have not seen money coming from the national government coming down to construct schools, classrooms, and to improve infrastructure. That is why we are saying that let the schools be opened, the way they are going to address the challenge of social distancing,
And you face them there.
and then let them go, let the boards of management of different schools ensure that there is water for washing their hands. Okay? And I have seen they are saying that let parents now carry the burden of masks. And we were told that there is money for masks. In fact, I'm very bitter with this government. They cannot tell us where the money for masks went to. If the cabinet secretary cannot tell us where the money for masks went to when he was delivering his statements, telling us that people are getting prepared.
If the deputy president cannot tell us where this money went.
Let's take it to the order as we wind up our show, and the seats here are getting hot, the temperatures are rising concerning the same thing. Let's wind up in a perspective where the BBI, when it was conceived, the benefit of it just a little bit, as you also wish a happy holiday, happy festives to our audience, because we are, as my director telling me, we're running out of time. Your last remarks as well.
Number one, Dalila, I have a document here. The BBI document is a gesture of good things coming. But number one, we are lamenting about the commission. You remember in under 69, the commission will be again recomposed. They will be moving from 9 to 7. And out of the 7, there will be a composition. We wish that in that commission, there will be representation. Out of the 7, 4 will come from teacher organization. So 3 will come from the management. Across the board, from the Service Salary Commission, Parliamentary Service Commission, up to the Judicial Service Commission. That one is captured there.
Okay.
It's also, we are talking about the youth affair. Youth have been just youth empowerment. Remember that guy was saying, somebody was saying, I want to be an MP, I want to be a minister for youth empowerment. There's nothing. We want to have a youth commission, which right from the national up to the ward level. And out of the youth commission, you remember there will be 9 commissioners, 7 commissioners. Out of the 7 commissioners, we are saying, we face that we as Kenya, we must fight for them, that there must be 4 youth there. In every county, there must be youth. And they will be there must be natural youth. Those are benefits. We are talking about 45%, 35% money to come to the county. But we are saying, if those people refuse, it will become yes or no, or the way they want it to be structured question. When we agree, let it become people select what they want. Now, if the no win, it just will be just like Msambweni. If the yes win, let's uphold that one and we move on. Because there are a lot of things with this document, and if you read it, some of people talk, and this was just in a newspaper, and this Asla Nation, you just buy newspapers, don't give people money. I was very happy when Alwali was saying, they go to give people money, and somebody comes without money, and people follow.
On top of that, you've talked about money. There are some allegations which are going on about the chiefs who are underground actually forcing people to sign the BBI.
Number one, I'm impressed. Today, the IBC was trying to verify. I hope when they verify, they'll notice, they'll realize that some people are false or forged. They will tell us those who are forged. There are numbers, because you are writing your number, they will be calling to verify. If the chief was forcing people, that time, not now, those people who are forced and they have their right, because the Constitution of Kenya, in Visage, you have freedom of right under Chapter 4 of the Bill of Rights. Report to the nearest human right. Come to Al-Sifa, say, I'm done alone. I was forced by Chief John Badi and Mwalimu Mabuza at this particular time, and we take you to court because there are people who are giving pro bono services, and I believe if you come, you will be compensated. But what we want to say that we are civilized society. Let us do things well. When people these people were only looking for 1 million signatures, but we can see it was 5.2, then it was reached 4.8. So we cannot say that nearly everybody was. Those people who signed, per se, were the people of Handshake. We did not force the Hustler Nation like John to fail. We know they are done. They were saying they don't want signatures. Now we have signed for them. They will look at that. So that procedure of BBI, we should forget until now it reaches the procedure in Parliament and the rest. And you have the members, because the other day you have 80 members in Msambweni. They should not just come because of the deputy president and a kata, so wanaenda huko wanakula. In Parliament, they should also stand up firm. Because we complain, you are talking about Parliament, and you have the Parliament. Let them come vocally. And the state of nation, let them address. I was very happy somebody was addressing the state of nation the other day, human rights, the Muri and the rest. Is it Muri and the Muslim? They were addressing the state of the nation. We want to see the state of nation address from the deputy president and his team. Because all along, you throw the dust to go. And if the best, you people just resign from the government, just like Jaramogi did in 1969 when he formed his KPU. He resigned. He's a gentleman. If you think in ideology, just resign. And life will continue.
Your last remark, Dan?
So I want to thank you. My last remark, I want to say that teachers, we are now facing the virus on the 4th. That's a reality. We must protect ourselves. We must talk to our parents to protect their children. And the children, those children who can listen, and we know we listen to the teachers, we want you also to protect yourself. And all those problems that we are saying, whether President Uhuru Kenyatta,
Raila Odinga and Ruto, these are the three giants in this country. We want you to have a face for the teachers. Let the teachers get their right. The salary increment should be given. The Teacher Service Commission, led by Macharia, is becoming a nuisance in this country. And therefore, you must address that person, and so that by the State of the Nation address on 30th first, we expect the President to see that that issue has been solved and for us. So we go to school when we are happy. We are not divided in terms of religion, in terms of whatever. And Kenyans, let's celebrate a Happy New Year with both Christian and Muslim, the Hustler Nation and the Handshake. We remember the common denominator, we are Kenyans and we are friends. Talk a word of GBIs, whatever, and you should not divide this country. May God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. As we go to you, John Buddy, what's your last remark? And
let me begin by saying that, talking about Bbi a bit, that we people, we Tamatanga people, we are not against Bbi per se, who had the deputy president poking holes on areas that need to be corrected. If those are corrected, and then the Kenyans are given an opportunity to choose what is right and what is wrong for them. We don't want a contested kind of referendum where we have yes and no. Let Kenyans be given an opportunity to select from the questions what they feel is good for them and leave alone what they feel is not good for them. Two, I would like to say that let us have our priorities right as Kenyans. What are our priorities? Is it BPI or trying to fix the problems that are affecting common manage? Then three, as we prepare to open the schools, let us urge our parents and the learners to come to make sure that learners go to school. Let the teachers report. Let learning continue. Let Kenyans continue masking. Let us continue washing our hands and keeping social distance. That is very, very important. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to 2021, which is a peaceful year, a year where the political temperatures will come down, whereby the deputy president of this republic will not be will be recognized and brought on the table where important decisions are being made. This table, a table where we don't see some funny characters within Jubilee government trying to undermine the second in command in this nation. That is very, very important. But let Kenyans live in peace, not pieces. Let us live as one nation. And as we prepare to usher in a new year, let us be careful. Let us celebrate responsibly. Parents know very well that next week, 4th, there will be school fees. Prepare something, make sure that there's uniform and everything. Thank you very much, and may you have a happy, prosperous 2021, a year where we as Kenyans are going to see that there is peace and there is cohesion and harmony among Kenyans. Thank you very much. God bless you.
thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in the studio. It's been a wonderful session having you up to this time, watching the discussion keenly. I would like to thank my cameraman, Tito Spencer, for the amazing work he's doing. And this is quite a great show. And let's meet again as I wish you a happy, brand new year. We shall meet again. I'm Dalila Hamza.
Thank you.